start out just pushing him around a little bit. He's still sticky on the forequarter, especially when he's going to his good side, which is his left, reversing back to his bad side, which is his right. I want to get that consistent. Again, what's very important to me is this horse's mental attitude of cooperation. He's smart enough to know that after I do something with him just a couple of times of what's being asked of him. So after that, he's making a right brain decision, an on-purpose decision, not to follow a feel. So I'm very, very stickler, on the horses not being sticky. I want them, when a horse will come out for 15, 20, 30 minutes at a time and do what's ever asked of them without hitting the end of the lead rope, that horse has a very positive attitude and is mentally attached to you, looking to follow a feel. There's respect, there's thought in there, there's trust, there's a whole lot of issues that go on when you get to where you can work them for a substantial time and they follow a feel without opposition, without hesitation. So right now he's got still a lot of opposition, a lot of hesitation, and I'm the kind of trainer that does not move on until those are gone. So you're going to see a little bit more of the same today.
So a horse that's making a left brain decision is making a conscious choice, whether positive or negative.
Yes.
And a right brain is a reaction, instinctual.
Yes. There's three things that fall into that category. There's three decision-making processes. Okay. One of them is a response where there's thought and respect involved, okay? Thought and respect. And then there's a reaction, which he has a little of those, not that many, where there's surprise or fear involved in it, okay? And then you have to deal with the worst of the three, which is an ill response, thought and disrespect. Yes, I know, but I'm not going to do it. And that he has a lot of from his former handling. Okay? So, with that being said, the only way to fix that is to stay on it until the horse submits to your will on that subject. There's several things, a couple of things that are non-negotiable. One of them is a horse has to move. That's why I always start out reminding him that we've got a 51-49 relationship, me 51, that he has to move when asked. The second one is he can't run me over, and everything else is negotiable. Okay? So, there's a physical running you over, of just literally trying to run you over like he did, I think, on day number 3. I was going down the rail, and he just said, I'm going through you. Okay, there's more than that. That's the obvious one. But the other one that maybe not so obvious, that a lot of horses do very passive-aggressive, is that when you ask them to do something with a lead rope, they try to do the opposite. They always go in, they go into pressure instead of away from pressure. And it's a conscious decision. So when I go to forequarter him on his right side, okay, or excuse me, on his left side to his right side, and he starts just walking through my hands, that's a form of running me over at this stage of the game with him. Okay, so I have got to get that down to whether I can do 10 of those in a row without him every third or fourth one fighting with me for 5 or 10 seconds, whether it's stopping his feet or trying to fight through it. Both of those are passive-aggressive maneuvers.
And everything you do is focused toward the saddle work, toward riding. So basically you're putting a rein on him. I mean, he's blowing through your rein, and that's at a walk.
Yes.
If you were trying to turn him at a walk and he didn't want to turn, you're not going to get it.
That's at a, like Michelle said, that's at a walk, and it's online on the ground. So you can imagine under saddle at a trot or a canter, you wouldn't have anything. So this just has to, it's too big of a subject. Part of my success is, and 30 years of doing this, we just don't get people bucked off horses. I've had less than 5 people bucked off a horse in 30 years and 12,000 horses. Is because of the groundwork. This is so important to me, because not only is it a physical situation, but it's a mental one. And then, of course, the emotions come in where they're emotionally upset, but they still pay attention to you. So within the next week or so, I'm going to do a demonstration, or one of my students, on one of our horses that we're the only ones that have trained it, and the horse listens to the weight of the rope. That knot barely even ever has to go even move at all before. All it has to do is move just a little bit, and the horse knows which way it's going. This is the steering wheel. Okay? But with
See how light he can be? He's already rocking his head with just the knot moving. He knows how to be light.
That when this horse wants to be light, look at that.
So it's all about changing his mental attitude toward cooperation.
It's mental with this horse. Thanks, Michelle. All right, I'm going to get busy. He should be trotting right now. So that is just a form of disrespect that I have to swing the rope to get him to move. Already, right now, he knows what I'm asking him to do. Okay, look at all these steps that he takes before he finally follows the field. So there he just made a decision not to do it. So I'm going to push him sideways until he follows the feel that I want. So he's pulling on me very hard this morning. He's going to work his mount there for me. Okay, here's a change in it. We're going from his bad side here to his good side. It's several times better than going from his good side here to his bad side. Okay, he's starting to change a little bit for me. I do understand this can be like watching paint dry, this part of the training, but this horse needs to understand that I have no quit in me to get what I want. And he's got to understand that I have high standards on this, and I'm going to stay with it until he gives me the standards that I'm looking for. Not the standards that he's had in the past or he thinks they should be, where he can run through you 20 steps and then listen to you. So his way of beating the human is very simple. He either stops moving or he just fights through contact. That's his best one, so I'll leave him alone, and he's going to work his mount for me here. A lot of hard work right here. There goes the mount, there goes the head. Very positive to the head. It's the lowest it's ever been right here. It's very important that I keep my belly button not pointed at him, because you can see anything that involves pressure, the head comes up. And from a skeletal standpoint, I'll let my wife talk about that, because I don't know. I know a fraction of what she knows. But from a skeletal standpoint, he is off. From a chiropractic standpoint, he is off on his head. And that's from it being up all the time, being tied to flag, being roped. I don't know what it is. But he does not have a lot of movement in his head. And so, for him to bend and stuff, hurts a little bit. And him being an adrenaline junkie with his head being pushed up instead of letting it hang all the time, it just causes physical problems. And that's not an excuse, but it's something that you should be aware of. But it doesn't mean that he can't follow the feel of the lead rope. But this horse has had a lot of opposition when it comes to evolving as human. All right, so there's a change in him right here, okay? So I've got to go slow and easy. All right? So there was the change. So that change, that not being cooperative to being cooperative, took just about 7 minutes or so. Not long. The first time I worked him, that change took almost an hour, and he was wet. Okay? So he's getting better. So I need to let him rest, because I'm not working on the physical part of the horse. I'm working on the mental part of the horse right now. So I want him to understand when he does good, he gets to stand. When he doesn't, he gets to work. Let him know that there are consequences to his actions, and he has control to an extent of what I do, especially how many he does. Very important.
That's the first time he's wanted to go to the right. He's like, let's just ignore this whole thing, and I'm just going to go to the right.
Good point. Look at how soft he is on the halter. Okay? So he knows the relief comes when he goes to the right, so he says, how about we just don't go to the left and just go right to the right so I can... And here he's wanting to get loved on. Okay, he's asking permission. Okay, so I'm going to bring him in and love on him. Loving on him is leaving him alone. Petting him nice and soft, okay, asking for a front leg, rubbing on him. I like the rope to touch him as much as possible. I keep this rope a little tight attached to his chin, so if he were to jump forward and do something silly, he would push me out of the way instead of being able to hit me with the back foot. This horse is very talented with his feet. Very sensitive about their pole. They'd rather you not mess with it at all, but unfortunately it's something we have to mess with. This is definitely what a Mustang's oh no, yeah, but spots. They don't like it. So you don't want to be in front of him when you're doing this. I'm semi-safe from his front feet, but I'm just asking for some trust here. to be able to bend while I have my head on his pole. See how jumpy he is. I sound like a broken record, but if you can't do this kind of stuff when a horse is relaxed, you have no business being up on their back. And he's obviously not relaxed.
Can you imagine with the issue he has with his back feet, if you happen to come off and fell down and got by his back feet, he'd kill you.
He'd kill you. He would stomp on you until you were no longer there to get stomped on. So however long that took, you're going to get a good stomp, what it's going to amount to. Alright, so today I'm going to work on the right. I'm not going to pick up his feet today. What I'm working on is for him to drop his head. So I'm going to roll his rear end, go sideways, until he drops his head. It's coming down more all the time. Look at that, he's working his mouth. Okay, when he's walking, he's shaking his head. His head is doing this, which tells you he's full stride. Okay? That it's a relaxed walk, a lot more than when that head doesn't move. Let's see if I can get his head down. There we go. Okay, so there, he's letting his head hang instead of pushing it up. So you'll see that muscle under his neck start to be shaky and wobbly because it's not tense. This horse has spent most of his life around humans with his head way up in the air, being pushed up, getting pushed full of adrenaline. Okay, I want his head a little lower than that. Look how nice that he's given. Look at his rear end is moving out of the way. When I bring this shoulder forward here, my left shoulder here, he goes sideways. Roll his rear end again. Sideways. Roll his rear end again. There's a nice sideways. And then let the rope out slowly. And get him just to relax and drop his head a little more. I want to get it around his brisket, which is that slab of meat between the two front legs. But we're not going to be there today. But it will be there where he'll actually put his head down and shake his head and blow and get all that adrenaline out of his system. And so he can learn how to live with all that adrenaline out of his system, with adrenaline gone. This horse right here deserves a lot of patience. He deserves a lot of my time and a lot of my patience and a lot of my understanding. So again, if I have to spend a couple of weeks doing something that other trainers may feel is a waste of time and unnecessary, I'm okay with that. It's a long-term project for me. Years ago, I had a saddle on him already, working on mounting tasks, getting up on a fence, getting used to over me, putting a leg on him, jumping next to him, and all that stuff. That opportunity's gone. He's not a virgin anymore. He's been, this is something that he's had done wrong to him, and so we've got to go back and show him we're not going to do that kind of thing. He needs the time.
We're not going to take advantage of him.
This is a special horse, in my opinion. We're not going to take advantage of him. Okay, there comes the head down even further. Look at that. His ears are starting to move more. He's blinking a lot, doing a lot of thinking. Look at that. So I'm okay with that. So I want to be able to back up and change him. And see if his head doesn't come up as much. There we go. Good. There we go. This is so good for his back and neck to be able to put his head down. So when he changes gaits, I'm going to go ahead and roll the rear end and push him sideways. Then let him have his head again. 4/4. All right. That's nice. 4/4 again. Not bad. There goes his mouth again. So when I slide down the first time, he's prepared himself to 4/4. Okay, when I slide down the first time, his rear end goes out just like that. His weight comes back and he goes the other way. Okay, so he is really trying for me here. Big breakthrough today. Watch his rear end go out. There it goes. There he changes direction. I back up and bring him to me. As soon as I can see both eyes, right there, I turn my energy down, take my belly button off of him, and see if I can get him to drop his head and work his mouth. There goes the head. It's good. He wants to put his head down to his ankles today. As soon as he learns he can do that, he's gonna get long and low, which is exactly what I want. I want him to stretch out 18 inches. I'm talking about he looks like an 18-inch longer horse, and just put his head down and move out with some nice authority and engage his rear end. All right, so I'm going to get him to work his mouth one more time, and then I'm going to call it a day. Today's going to be short and sweet, unless he changes things. Wait for that other eye. Right there, and then turn my body off. Good. Slow and right. Okay, look, he's already preparing himself right there. Okay, so I'm going to get in time with his legs a little bit. Okay. Right front. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I want the feet to come off the ground. Okay, so when he doesn't understand something, that's what he does a lot of. This is going to help him get his head down. Left, right, left. There, he's not sure. That's what he does. Let me get out of here. Left, right, left, right. That's what I'm wanting him to do. Drop his head and work his mouth for me. Good. Can't beat that. See, the dog just sneezed over there, and he reacted from it. Riding him is just showing him how bad it really is. That's what riding did to this horse. Showing that it's just as bad as he thought it was. So, riding a horse in that frame of mind, doesn't work out on the short term, and it definitely doesn't work out on the long term. The most important decision you ever make with a horse is when to throw that right leg over him. And I don't throw the leg over them until they are relaxed. If it takes 6 weeks, I don't care if it takes 6 months. I'm not going to saddle this horse till he can relax around a human. He's got to get used to the human first, then the saddle, then the rider, then the bridle. Okay? It can't be where he's not even used to the human. You're throwing a saddle on him. He's not even used to the human. Now he's way uncomfortable with the saddle, and you're trying to get on him. It's never. This kind of horse, you'll fail 99 out of 100 times, if not 100 out of 100. Just not the way to go. Thanks.